Call of Duty players are tired, and it's starting to show in the player count. Today, I want to discuss this at length and decide what it means for the future of Warzone. Seeing as it's not something I've done in a long time, we're going to be treating this kind of like an old school commentary where we dive in, we play a little Call of Duty, and we discuss how it plays, how it feels, and my personal opinion on the game. So the first thing I'm going to do is what I feel like I pretty much always have to do now, which is land on a contract. Off rip, I gotta say, contracts right now are a good thing. You know, when I hop into Call of Duty, I do land on contracts because I have to, not because I can just run around and grab random cash and I'm good immediately. So it's pretty nice to have a reason to run around and do contracts now when we didn't have that for quite some time. I think there were multiple games or multiple iterations of Warzone where contracts just weren't necessary. But aside from that, obviously I kind of want to talk about Warzone as a whole. I want to talk about Call of Duty as a whole and figure out where it's at, because it has felt very weird lately. If you've watched my content, you know that I've basically been talking about all the bad going on in Call of Duty. And while there is a lot of bad, personally, I'm someone that tries to look at the bright side pretty much all of the time. And I also have to play devil's advocate for all that bad stuff going on. Not because I want to suck off the executives at Call of Duty and get so many packages from Call of Duty, because I love more than anything these packages that they send me. They get me so excited and horny. But more likely because I feel like it's a necessity to kind of look at both sides of the equation, right? Because if you're only looking at one side and only seeing that all the time, then you're putting yourself and the people that watch your content at just like such a disadvantage whenever it comes to like mental state. But what? I don't know where that guy's at. I really wanted that contractor, but they kind of screwed me out of it, dude. There's no zipper up, right? Because what I'd like to do is just go up, fan up, fan up, fan up. But yeah, I mean, I've been having a lot of conversation that was very negative about the game recently, and it kind of sucks because I don't want to. That's like not something I want to do, is constantly have conversation that's negative about the game, because this is what I do for a living. I don't know if y'all know that, but it's literally what I do for a living. Now, ironically, since I've been having negative conversation, my channel's been doing better than ever. Not ever, not realistic, not even close to better than ever, but like, you know, better than it has been in quite some time. And so it like makes a lot of sense to have those conversations, and it kind of feels really nice to be very honest about things. But again, having to play devil's advocate with, you know, when I do these reaction type videos talking about things going on within the space is not always fun, because on the other side, I have people that always say I am being a shill, this, that, or the other thing. And it kind of sucks because, listen, I'm not getting paid from Activision. Like, there are times where, just like anybody else, it's a struggle to make ends meet. And obviously I get to do what I love for a living, and that's why I'm happy to have that struggle. But Call of Duty's in a weird place, and I don't really know what to do about it. You know, we've got players leaving. Obviously, a lot of that is due to the bugs and the miscalculations with the game. Like bad game design choices, the ego of Treyarch to completely mess up Warzone for the sake of adding in certain things, the like bad communication between Raven and Treyarch, whatever it may be, that caused all these bugs to happen, the speed at which Raven had to put in these things, which is probably the reason that Urzikstan was so chalked by the end of Warzone 3. And I'm not saying like the movement wasn't perfect. The movement was good. Everything felt really nice. But like there were no actual updates happening in the game. There was nothing going on the entire time nearing the end of the game. And the reason why was most likely due to them putting time into other things. And they only had 1 year with Urzikstan being out to add in all the things from Black Ops, things that were being added in for 4 years over there. So there's just like so many little things that a lot of people just don't really think about. What are you doing, buddy? And so I have to be that guy that has to discuss these things. And obviously I could just dodge the conversation, but that's not really who I am. But the big thing is like Call of Duty's in a pretty weird space. I don't know if it's in a necessarily like super bad space. I think it's right now just in a very weird space where it could go very poorly if they don't make the right decisions. Where is that guy? It's probably not worth it to attempt to fight that guy. He's inside of a building. But right now, in my personal opinion, I think gameplay's in a pretty good spot. I know it sounds goofy to say after having so many negative videos, but I think gameplay is in a pretty decent spot. I think it could obviously be better, and we're going to see things slowly return to the way that Warzone 1 was, but it's pretty good. I mean, I'd like to see looser skill-based matchmaking. Or not skill, really. It's engagement optimized matchmaking. I'd like to see that changed a little bit. He's just sitting behind that, isn't he? Crazy play, my boy. I don't know what that's about. I think something like this that I have in my hand, the 100 round XM4, is a wild thing that hasn't been nerfed yet. So I think, you know, updates being a little slow for certain things that we'd like to be changed. You know, certain things are getting prioritized, and it's hard to talk them into not prioritizing those things because we have some big issues. But again, overall, I've been having so much fun with this game. Some guy just grabbed that bounty, am I right? I mean, it's fine. I mean, we know that there's a guy in that building, but I don't want to ego it. But realistically, I just kind of like the goal of this video is to just share my perspective and share how I'm feeling about the game overall, because I know that a lot of people think that I hate the game, or a lot of people think that all I do is fuss about the game, or a lot of people think that all I do is suck off Call of Duty. And it's like, you can never win when you're making content about anything that's polarizing. You can never win when you're making content realistically. And I'm not saying, again, that I would trade this job, but I just think that when you're in the public eye, a lot of people have their set opinions about you, and they decide things without knowing a single thing about you in general. This guy is crazy. What the hell? Did that guy die? I don't know. Who shot at me? The vehicle somewhere behind me? So it's been a weird situation because the more angry people get, the more they take it out on the wrong people. Like, people assume that content creators ruin the game, but people also say that content creators are not the reason that the game is succeeding. So how could you say that one person doesn't have the power to make a game succeed, but does have the power to make the game fail? I think we just have to like recognize that if they have the power to do one, they have the power to do the other. So I just like, I always get lost in the fact that people literally just have weird conversations about stuff they truly don't understand with doing zero research and actually not paying attention. Like, people always talking about how, you know, no one ever talked about shadow bans until it was affecting creators. That's not true in the slightest. I remember tweeting about, you know, shadow bans before I ever got shadow banned. I remember having many conversations about shadow bans. I remember seeing JGod videos discussing this on repeat over and over and over, but people will still say it. I think the big thing is that we've just got such a divisive community right now with Call of Duty that it's hard for anybody to really get a word out. I think people are so angry about random stuff that like nothing makes sense anymore. It's hard for anybody to kind of break through all the nonsense realistically and kind of get to the base of the problem. And I think that's leading to a lot more issues than anything else. So it kind of sucks. I mean, like, realistically, if we're to talk about the state of Call of Duty right now, what I would say is that it kind of sucks. Like, that is pretty much the extent of it. Where did he shoot me from, though? Who shot me? Because I literally don't see it. But as for gameplay, realistically, like, the game came out, and I just to be clear, this is like my actual opinion. The game came out, and I literally didn't want to play it. The whole reason I got into those videos where I was like kind of discussing the bad things about the game is that I wanted to have discussions about the things that were affecting me, you know? And I get it. You know, that's the idea behind creators only talk about it when it affects them. But like, dude, like Warzone 3 was really good. And while I still had conversations about the bad things in Warzone 3, I tried my best to just keep my content positive because I didn't want to look back at my content and be like, damn, all I did was bitch. And I know at some point in time, I'm going to do that with this content, but realistically, it feels good to be open and honest about certain things that are bothering me. And obviously this will happen at different times in your lives and stuff like that. In my current moment, it's happening now. But again, it's never about like, it's never only about it happening to certain people. I think at certain times it becomes very obvious. I think if you take, for example, the shadow ban system, it's hitting everyone in the most negative way possible. And because of that, everyone is talking about it, which makes it impossible not to talk about it in some capacity. So it looks like everybody's just now talking about it, but in reality, the system has actively gotten worse and worse, which is leading it to look like that. But again, all in all, seeing as I could not stand the version of Warzone that came out with the new integration with Black Ops 6, I think now we're actually at one of the best integration versions that we've ever had. And while that's a little goofy, I think it's important to keep that in mind because, again, Raven is the one that did it. And I will say this over and over and over because Raven has time and time again saved the game. Infinity Ward almost killed Warzone 1. Infinity Ward, the ones that created Warzone 1, were literally killing it because they were doing nothing with it. Like, there were so many glitches in the game. There were so many glitches in the game that just kept happening over and over. Like the gun glitch that would go away and come back, but that it was like a transformer on your screen, you know? Like, that was an issue forever. Insane. That was an issue forever. And over and over and over, they'd fix it, and then all of a sudden it'd come back. But Raven doesn't really have that issue for the most part. Don't get me wrong. They have that with like weapons getting untuned. But I wonder if that's because they're trying to balance it. And I'm not trying to give them the full benefit of the doubt because I know that they've messed up stuff too. But when you look at the past, you can see that every integration often comes down to Infinity Ward fudging something. But Raven Software, they came in like season 5 of Warzone 1 and they fixed all the issues that we had aside from cheaters because they physically could not fix cheaters. They fixed as much as they could until there was nothing left that they could do. Is there a guy in here? To the sniper. Damn, old boy. PA. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Oh, I'm dead. Oh my God. But yeah, I think there's a certain amount of like, let's make sure that we're giving props where props are due. And there's a certain amount of like, all right, they've fudged it up so many times. Like, we really need to lock in and stop giving props for certain things. And that's what I'll say. You know, like, pay attention to what company's doing what. Pay attention to how they're treating the people. You'll always notice that Infinity Ward is a big middle finger and they focus only on data and not player like fun and stuff like that. While Raven focuses on player fun and they always listen. Like, literally they'll add in things that are said by the community. You remember when what was his name? Started with a B. I'm gonna die right here, by the way. Started with a B. I can't think of it, but he made a video called The Little Things. And that video was incredible. Now, everything that he's mentioned in that video is now in the game. Insane plays, by the way. So when you think about that and you realize like Raven was the one that implemented that, you realize that they are listening. They are watching these videos. And I really love that. But I hate that every single time we have a freaking integration, it breaks. It's very frustrating. Obviously, I've recently put out a video talking about Ricochet and how stupid that is. Ricochet makes no sense. And I think the use of AI in the game right now is just pointless. It does nothing for the community. The AI that they always mention is literally doing zilch. It is always just, okay, let's see how we can use this. And I had a conversation in a recent video talking about how, you know, Activision has pushed AI onto the people that do stuff, and it does such a poor job that they're moving to other jobs after getting fired from Activision, and all of a sudden, they can't do a goddamn thing of work over there. This guy's gotta not be serious, right? I need to hit that buy station for a self-revive, by the way. That's the reason I'm over here. I don't understand what's going on. Where did that guy go? What is that? How do I still have him marked, bro? What the hell? Enemy nearby. Nice. Let's grab that. What's up, big boy? We got guys on every roof over here, which is crazy. I'm basically gonna have to play that roof right there. But yeah, we're gonna be doing one more game, so don't think that it ends right here. I just I kind of enjoy just sitting and talking. I try and do every bit of information that I do in my videos to be backed up by some sort of evidence or just something like that, some sort of supporting evidence. But I think it was like high tide that I just had a conversation, you know? High tide that I just hopped in and had a bit of communication with my community. So if you're watching this, I want to know your comments and your thoughts down below. Like, I think that would be a great opportunity for communication. We're gonna pop just to figure out where this guy's at. He's sitting at the door. He's sitting looking through the door, one floor up. Okay, I guess he was lost in the sauce. I don't know. Another thing is like engagement optimized matchmaking is one of those things that's like super weird. Because like right here, people are going to think like I'm like two boxing. One, I'm playing in solos, you can't two box. Two, I don't even use a VPN or anything like that. I don't use anything of that nature to get into the lobbies that I get in. I just play, you know? A lot of people are going to say, oh, you're using a Cronus. I don't do that either. Like I don't use anything to help me play. The only thing close that I could think of is that I use a service called Exit Lag, and I don't even have that on 90% of the time, only when I start having issues with internet. And all that does is it fix my trace route to where instead of like bouncing through like 3 servers and one of them being bad, it'll find a different server if it recognizes that one is not good enough. But it doesn't go through like literal servers. It's just like ISP servers, basically. It's the way that your ping bounces. And if you know what a trace route is, it's basically just changing your trace route. So that's kind of how what I use works. But either way, we've got about 12 players left in the match. Got a guy right there on the buy. He's dead. We had a guy shooting from over there, which means he's probably right there. But there should have been another guy because he was shooting at somebody. My guess is that he's still behind this one or this one, whichever one I was looking at earlier. Yeah, it's just not worth it to try and fight him because he's got a sniper. If I do that, I'm pretty much guaranteed to die. But my curiosity... So I don't have enough ammo for this, so I'm not sure if it's even a good idea to do that. What I think I'm going to do is go up, check this guy's body. Yep, he's got ammo. Let's do that. Check the other side, see if anybody's going to come out, because that guy should have come out at some point in time, and he is, and he's dead. But anyway, engagement optimized matchmaking is weird because it kind of feeds into everything, and it ends up with like you getting shadow banned. Like right here, it looks like I'm cheating if you watch the kill cam, by the way, because I'm just like slamming a bunch of dudes down at the bottom. And I've got a weapon that has no recoil for the most part and 100 bullets. So it looks like I'm straight up cheating if you're someone else. Because the kill cams are broken and the spectating's broken.
Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone.
So just a list of items that are not good. This guy's in here. Clustered me. It's gross. Where's it coming from, though? Oh, that's good. Ugh. That sucks. It's eventually going to hit me, I'm guessing. Last one. Should be a guy moving from over here. still have a guy like enemy nearby if I go right here, right? Yeah, so there's a guy right here and he's right below me. Don't really want to waste my bullets anymore. He's not on this side anymore. He's in here. He probably just chills there. That's okay. I'm likely to have to move. There should be 2 guys in this building, right? My guess is...
Find cover.
That's fair. I don't have a gas mask, so this kind of sucks.
Closing in.
I die right here, most likely.
Enemy UAV overhead.
We got a decent like little spot right here. There's probably a guy that's gonna come up over there, so I'm kind of ADS down right there. There's a guy right below me, which isn't good.
Gas is inbound. Marking new.
I will know this is kind of my first game that I've played today, so it's probably why it's a little easier.
Moving.
What do you say we fist fight, big man? I guess he doesn't want a fist fight. How goofy. How goofy. The Goofy movie. By the way, if you're ever looking for gameplay content, I do gameplay videos on my second channel, Expel Plus, every single day. Every single day. So, what I can do is probably hold this Hattie. He goes one or the other, right? Final circle. Hopefully it comes this way and it lands on both of us, because I don't have a gas mask. And if he has a gas mask, that's an additional amount of time.
Finish the job.
He's dead. So you don't want a fist fight? You just want a fist, or what are you thinking? Great plays, my boy. I don't know if this is gonna work realistically, but we'll see. GG. All right, well, GG's. We're moving on to game number 2. I don't think it shows anything here, right? So moving into game number 2, what I really want to focus on for at least just a second is the quality of life features that I am a little upset that we don't have anymore. First of all, I'm very, very annoyed that every single time we update, there's a massive quality of life like issue where it just loses everything. And it just makes no sense to me that this happens on repeat every single time. And I know it's because they work with like an older version of the engine that's been updated. I know that sounds stupid to say, but they literally go through and they work with a version of the engine that like Treyarch has to work with, which is an older version, but has been updated to Treyarch's liking. But my big issue here, realistically, is that it keeps happening. And I realize it's going to continue happening because of developmental issues between the two organizations. But had they made Warzone standalone, or if they were to make Warzone standalone, it would be a non-issue. We would not be seeing these things on repeat happening over and over and over. But One of the big quality of life issues that I've been having is favoriting classes, something that we've not really had issues with in forever. And if you favorite a class now, it doesn't put it at the top. So if you go to hit your loadout and you're just tapping your button, like most controller players do, you will grab the wrong loadout, even if you favorited it. Along with that is favoriting friends. I have friends that I've favorited and they're at the goddamn bottom of my friends list. I don't know what that's about. It's super goofy. But I think a lot of you guys are feeling the exact same way as me, is it feels like every single time there's an update, there's a negative quality of life update. Now, to say that they don't fix those things relatively quick would be a lie, but it is very frustrating to see that every time there's an update. Again, there's still things missing, right? The thing that I just mentioned is still missing. But I do wish, even with this in its state currently, that we could slowly work our way down to like a Verdansk style of gameplay. I think we've TikTok brained everyone with the current state of Call of Duty. And as for my own personal feelings, not that I think that this is fact or anything like that, as for my own personal feelings about how things are being affected in the game, I think that Resurgence and... oh my god, why am I stuck? I think the Resurgence... I think the Resurgence and the Resurgencification of Big Map has really screwed things up. Because I think we need to get back to some tactical style gameplay. I think ziplines are great, but I don't think launchers are. Every vehicle has no use. It's also incredibly easy to beam people out of every vehicle except for the LTV, god dang it, which is another very frustrating thing. That guy didn't hit a goddamn shot. Good Lord have mercy. I'm about to bust. But yeah, I think that the current state of Warzone doesn't actually allow for quite a few things. Like, for example, I think that if you focus on this, you lose the story, you know? You lose the story of Warzone. No one connects to the game because it's just a respawn simulator. Just like with multiplayer, no one cares about the story behind multiplayer. You get these seasonal updates and you watch this cutscene at the beginning of the season. And how many of y'all actually skip that thing? And how many of y'all watch it and care what's going on? I guarantee you the number is so low, it's actually kind of stupid. Oh, shoot. Yo, bro, you're welcome. Free kill. Leafy, what a name. Damn, that Jackal PDW looks sick. But again, I think that's just like a massive issue. By the way, if we die, we're just gonna move into a third game. But I would love to see a change with that to where if it's a little bit more tactical, the games are a little longer. If you die, there's a negative effect to it. And right now, that's simply not the issue. I want to see people have to deal with these negative effects. And I think that having a buy station is great. Having gulag tokens are great. But getting rid of flares and getting redeploys was a great idea on the way to that exactly. So hopefully they keep up stuff like that where they make Big Map about Big Map. And people that want to play Resurgence can just play Resurgence, dude. That would be very nice. I think that we really need to focus in on making a battle royale. Sure, we can have our loadouts, but I also think that for the sake of fun, we stop focusing on money whenever it comes to, I don't know how I would put this, whenever it comes to like attachments and stuff like that. We need to retain the player, so we got to make them unlock all the attachments. And if you don't have every attachment for every gun that takes 100 hours to get, then you're going to lose the game. I think it's stupid. I think it's very dumb. I think we're doing well with the system that we have for attachments right now, the pick 5. We need to get rid of Gunfighter. Shouldn't be an option. It needs to go. And that is a fact of life, in my opinion. Gunfighter, just a very negative thing. I think overall, wildcards, probably not necessary. They don't really have a space in the game right now. Hello? Aim assist? Because he was right here, I didn't get aim assist, but because he could see over it, he got aim assist, which is crazy. Let's do do that. I don't know. I just think my opinion right here is that I'd love to see us go back to a Warzone 1 style of game. I'm okay with people camping in corners, but we need to make sure that the time to kill is a little bit higher, right? Because that gives the opportunity of a skill gap. People shoot a certain amount of bullets and it takes longer to kill. So because it takes longer to kill, people camping in corners have to actually hit their goddamn shots. And because they're cold, they lose the gunfights, which is how it would make sure that players that are good are not ending up in those situations. I think blast traps should have like a 1.5 seconds instead of 0.75. That would also help on the other side, right? I think that there should only be one kind of mine, by the way. I'm not gonna lie to you. One kind of 360 mine. If you look at things that like blast traps and prox mines, they're the exact same thing. One just pops up in the sky, right? Like, it's goofy. They both do 360-degree explosive damage, like in a sphere. Both of them do, which I think is incredibly dumb. I think claymores are a good idea, and then you have prox mines that are a good idea. Claymores blow up instantly. Prox mines have to go up into the sky before they blow up. There's a reason for the way that things are put, and there's just not a lot of forethought put into this to ensure that things work the way that they should work. I think that if we're going to make things more tactical, we have to think about the way that we make things more tactical. But I think having longer matches on a bigger map is a good idea. I think just making sure that we have those 150 players instead of 120 or 100 is also very freaking important. Okay, I gotta hit my shots. Lord God Almighty. Hi, big boy. You trying to have handsies or what? Oh, he's gone. All right. But yeah, in my opinion, I think that the gameplay in its current state just needs, oh my jeezaloo, a current or a little bit of a change. Good Lord have mercy, that man just got clapped in an inappropriate fashion, frankly. See if we can get up that. There's two dudes over there. Oh my God. That guy's just lost in the sauce. Respect. His boyfriend was right beside him. 50 meters out. I love the idea of heartbeat sensors. I think that heartbeat sensors do need a battery life, but they should be used like stuns maybe. You know, go in that slot instead of being able to use stems and concussions and all this other stuff, but also use the heartbeat sensor. I think the heartbeat sensor is possibly the most broken thing in the game right now. So he's up above. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate around this way. I just want to take us back to having to think about things. You know, I think the pro scene is like pretty decent, but there's so many things that can be cheesed. I think we really need to put a focus on audio as well, because the fact that people have to pay to get their audio tuned is crazy. Can I just say that is the wildest thing about Call of Duty in its current state, is that you have to pay to get your audio tuned so that you can actually hear the game as intended. You know how crazy that is? Like, even if you're paying like a third-party person, I still think it's weird. I think it's super weird. My audio's tuned. I know that you know that, because if you listen to my audio, it sounds like better. You can hear things and not be deafened by certain things. I just think there's just so many things that are good that are just being overshadowed by goofy ass stuff, you know? That's one thing that I'd really like to see changed, is just like the goofy ass stuff just get fixed and become priority, for the love of God. Like we gotta change out this audio. I can't believe audio's in the state that it is right now. It is so incredibly depressing. Brother, you are hot ass, brother. Actually, not even hot ass, just ass. What the? This ain't it, Chief. This is not it. I don't like this position. What I'd like to do is try and get over there. Let's check our back just for a second. This guy had some stuff. Let's go grab his stuff. We're running a little low on things. Let's pop this. Grab that. Grab the heartbeat again. And then we're going to work our way over to green right here. He's coming out, it sounds like. Or he might be on the roof.
Don't miss your shot.
Check our heartbeat. What I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to take the rooftop right here, because that might give me a pretty decent position in heady, depending on where the window's at. Shoot. Go high.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Nice. He's right here. Your mama.
Be advised. An enemy.
Whoa, old boy. I need to know where that shot came from. Came from the other side. Cool, 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 cool. Somebody's shooting from the other side. That ain't good. Don't know where that may be. See that guy over there? He has to move in, so there's no reason for me to, like, push him. What I can do is just wiggle back and forth here. It looks like he's looking at something over there. I can't really tell. It's a Little Red Riding Hood character. It's not a good idea, just to be clear. Okay, that guy makes a mistake and goes right into where I was shooting. Perfect. I think there's still a way to be tactical. I do want to go back to that conversation for a second. I do think there's a way to be tactical in the game. I just think there's not a good reason to do it. Guy literally has to move in. There's no reason for me to try and fight that. Most likely. He just dropped off. He probably comes around that side. He's up there still. Let's see if he's on. No. What do I have? 30. He's dropping down that right side. He probably reaches up to here. Biggles was not my guy. That actually kind of sucks. So who is my guy? Bounty averted, but he's still close. So I'm not sure I want to put myself in a weird position here. But I think there is a way to be tactical. That guy's going to snipe at me in just a second. Jesus! What are you doing, buddy? Crazy plays out of my boy. Yeah, I think there's still a way to be tactical. It just, like, isn't a necessity. Right? Obviously, it was never a necessity. People slide canceled all around Verdansk. But I think that, like, the amount of tacticality that you had was a direct impact on how well you did. Now you can just fly at everyone. I think that favoring campers a little bit like making the games longer, making you have to think more is a good idea. He's still sitting in that corner over there. You hear the bullets? It's probably like right here. Go ahead, bud. Try and drop off. See what happens. Where's this, by the way? I don't think we should literally favor people that are like camping to camp. I think that's very different than what I'm trying to say, just to be clear. But I think that a certain amount of like favoring stealth is good. Favoring being smart about your plays instead of just letting everybody send everything all the time. I think that gets very old very quickly. Is there a guy up here? Insane that he took that up. Right when I said, is there a guy up here?
Enemy SAM turret active. Hostile UAV in the area.
Obviously, I'm gonna have to take that, so I'm gonna put it on the ground. I'm gonna take this. We are going to jump. There's a lot of buildings over here. I should have pulled out my jackal, but I think the building I'm gonna go for is this for the meantime and in between time. And I'm gonna die to it. Hey, GG's, baby. GG's. Either way, let me know your thoughts in a comment down below. What do you think about the state of Warzone right now? Let's check this guy out. That was just poor plays on my part. Poor plays on my part, my God. But let me know about what you think about the game right now. I mean, like, are you getting a lot of wins? Are you getting a lot of losses? What are you dying to? Are you dying to, like, crap? Or are you dying to 1v1 gunfights? Are you dying to literal issues with the game? Or is it, oh, I have desync? Or is it, you know, I can't see the guy because of poor visuals? Or is it, like, this, that, or the other thing? That's what I want to know. I feel like a lot of my gunfights end up, like, obviously that one was me just making a mistake. That's all that it was. But a lot of my gunfights aren't like that. I run into things that are just me dying to bugs because I physically can't fight the guy. I physically am at a disadvantage because of something that is a problem in Call of Duty. Like, you're climbing a ladder, you go to jump off, and you've got to pull your parachute. Like, it makes no sense. There's a lot of things like that. So I want to know, what's your experience in Call of Duty? And I think that's it. So have an incredible day. Goodbye.